This is the HX Collective Self Channel, where we explore the relationship we have with ourselves. In today's conversation with my guests from the Wellock Group, Rick Wellock and Amy Staggs, as they reflect on their journeys of self discovery and the impact these journeys have had on their human experience. The HX Collective explores the human experience through three main channels of life: work, relationships, and self. With raw, authentic conversations, the podcast investigates how challenges can become powerful teachers, leading to personal growth and deeper connections. Rooted in humanity-centered design, each episode reflects a commitment to doing good and doing well, featuring diverse voices and generational perspectives. Expect gripping stories of struggle and success, with thought-provoking discussions and concrete tools and tactics that encourage you to rethink your relationship with distress, helping you to establish your full human experience. This is the HX Collective Channel. All right, so we've had such good insights with regards to our human experience at work. We've talked about it in a broader context of relationships. I want to conclude our time today really thinking about what does it mean to elevate human flourishing, beginning with the self. And so much of the work that you do at the Wellock Group really does begin with that internal point of view. And Rick, I'm actually going to have you say a bit more about homework. There was a great discovery that I had in breakthrough with one of my coaching sessions with Rick, where we talked about that you can never be without within. When you are fully home, you can never be without. When you have that sense of self, when you have that sense of whole, source from a place of home, from which then you can do the work in all the various aspects of your life. And such a powerful moment for me because I think I recognized that while I have so much pouring out of myself in all aspects of my life and in all relationships in my life and always in hyper productivity mode and create deliverables, make the world better, impact, impact, impact. What I recognized is that I was doing from that as a person that was without a home, in truest sense, homeless, because it wasn't that clarity of self. And I would say that's been the biggest transformation for me in all aspects of my life. So, Rick, when we think about the homework and when what is necessary and what is required to do that work, what insights might you share that might benefit others who maybe are feeling that sense of pouring out, but doing that from a very empty or from a very homeless place?
Well, it goes back to relationships, yeah, but it also anchors itself in results. People want to see progress. They want to see some level of success, however they define that. And that has a value, worth component to it. And a simple question like, why are you here? And what do you hope? Now, everyone coaching person asks this, but they get you in the moment, okay, and then they pull you into a future focus. So you're always working in the moment and you're working with the future and the past. You're always working with the past, present, future, with the memory, with the imagination, and with the sensibilities you have in the moment. So we pay attention to that. People learn how to play what we call all 52 cards, including jokers. There's everything that comes out is important material with. So I, I'm I can give you a couple of tools that we use that might be helpful to people, and that is first of all, see what's going on. Okay, do a real scan of yourself, and we have assessment tools and a way of looking at the uniqueness and unique contribution capability of individuals. We can put that together with things, but see what's there. We call that the who and the what. Second is go up on the balcony, get up on top of the mountain and look down. And let's understand not only what's going on, but let's look at how we reproduce these patterns in our lives and how there's habits. Make sense? Get stuck in cycles. We build internal systems and reinforce those that continue to repeat themselves over and over. So it's easy to get into a rut, but you have to recognize you're in a rut. And when you do that, then we get at the core of who you are, what are you really made for, and how do you want to move? How do you want to move? That's called so what. So we witness, wake up, and shift. It's true for everybody. Not so we work with where you are. And all inside, it's all on the interior, all written in there. We have incredible capacity that can become a real aware strength with ourselves, with other people, and in our business. So it's playing with the same internal material as it's unique to each person.
I love it. I think Amy, and when Rick describes the frameworks and in that sense of really getting a sense of yourself and then sort of having that, on the balcony or at the mountaintop, examine the cycles, acknowledge if you're in the rut, and then really the what do I desire that might look or be different. When you think about the self care or the self reflection, what are some practical things that we could be thinking about if we wanted to elevate our human experience, like be more fully human in our experience while we're in this physical world? What would you say are some priorities, practicalities? It'd be great to share this.
So, what must be present in order to establish home and return home? And what must be continually checked? So, I think boundaries, right? And boundaries, not just as like, no, don't come near me, but gentle boundaries too. Setting gentle boundaries for self so that when we can better check and be in touch with when we are maxing out and not get there until we're not wait until we're in the red. So setting our own boundaries, knowing our own limits, knowing our own capacity, and then giving ourselves options of where to go to rest, to be restored, and optimally recharge. And recognizing we all need rest, not just seasonally, right? Not just in the winter, like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead kind of thing. No, no, no. No, and it's not sleep. You're just dead, right? So it's so while we're here, how do we downshift, right? So I think so boundaries and creating options that give us uh, maintenance and engagement. So that could be, yes, on an indulgent, but also practical level, regular bubble baths for some, pursuit of learning for the sake of genuine interest, not just because it relates to what I do, right? Right. So engaging in what gets me hungry, making sure that we have safe relationships. That's an important piece too. That can be a big part of going home. And it's not always familial. Sometimes it is, but it's not always. There are lots of like sisters or like brothers that are good to have. And I think as far as an attitude towards ourselves, building and recognizing it's not a switch, self-compassion in order to access and maintain any of this.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up the word boundaries. I think we should unpack that some more in our next conversation. I heard a great example that a boundary is the limits with which I can love you and myself at the same time. And I think what a powerful way of thinking about boundaries, not as a push away, but rather as a harness of, if I'm going to be consistent with who I am and I can love myself, that I have to have that understanding. So I think there's so much more to unpack
And it can help us love others in an even more informed way to
without
know
a
that.
doubt.
Yeah.
I love it. So, as we are wrapping, so many great perspectives, and so many of these are so concrete in the context of what you do in your work at the Wellock Group. And so, I would just ask for some closing points of encouragement. I know that our audience is going to be keying in on different elements of what HX means to them, whether they're looking at elevating human flourishing at work, whether it's more contextually around the community of relationships and the various stakeholders with whom they're engaging, or as we look at it as an element of our own homework, our own self care. So, Amy, parting advice or counsel for people who really want to elevate human flourishing in any aspect of their lives?
Choose the good. Choose the good. And every passing moment is a chance to engage with the good and then choose it, both towards yourself and in relationship with others. And doing that with compassion and understanding, recognizing the seasonal elements, that we are all in season corporately and individually.
I love it. Rick, same question. If we were going to have some parting wisdom to say, if you want to elevate human flourishing, if you want to elevate the human experience in totality, any closing thoughts that you'd share with us today?
Oh, here's the way I think about it. It's being truly who you are, as you are with who you're with, doing what is uniquely yours to do, to create value, and to establish uh, really what matters most, not just to you, but the organization, all the different stakeholders within it. So we approach it holistically, but we also seek to land the plane. And I mentioned the who and what, the so what, and the now what. I'll leave a simple exercise if you want a window into this, is write down 4 or 5 things that you've enjoyed doing that you believe you did well and found satisfying. It's right part of sciences and methodologies. And then just say, how did I go about that? What was really satisfying? And and do that on a daily basis. Okay, bring in the good, okay, bring out the good, focus what's there, only tap what's essential, and then learn how to ignore noise.
That's great. It's a great way to end. I'm so grateful for both of you. I can't wait to pick up our next conversation, and I can't wait for our audience to get to learn more nuggets and wisdom and tools and tactics from you both. Much love. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks for being here. If today's conversation sparked something in you, we hope you'll carry it forward with curiosity, compassion, and courage. Subscribe to the show, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep exploring what it means to be fully human.